All right, now we're reviewing activity on the Nigerian Exchange for the month of November, a period marked by notable market movements and shifting investor sentiment. We also unpack how the all-share index performed, key drivers behind market gains, pullbacks, and what the trends, what it tells us about the year, as it's winding down. At the same time, capital market enters a new phase of efficiency with a T+2 settlement cycle officially going live today. Joining us for this conversation now, we have Mr. Olatunde Amolegbe. He's the MD after Stephen Asset Management. Great to have you on the show, sir, and good morning.
Good morning, Ladi. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic.
And happy T+2 day.
Happy T+2 day. Happy Black Friday. Hopefully, investors are able to get discounts with some of these stocks.
Absolutely.
Today.
They're already getting discount by getting their money earlier than they typically will.
Right. Instead of 3 working days, it's just 2 now, and hopefully it gets lower, as we move forward. But how would you assess the NGX all-share index performance in November? We've seen it's down about 7%, so far, this month. What would you say played out?
Well, I mean, there was that unusual movement we saw about a week ago. It accumulated the market dropping significantly by about 5%. But other than that particular day, for me, I think that most of the activities we actually saw were the normal cyclical movement of the market. The market has gone up close to 50% this year. At some point, as we move towards the close of the year, you will see people trying to rebalance their books. You will see some people trying to take profits. And, when you take profits, you see prices coming down. For me, the fundamentals are still strong. The weakness, if you will call it that, we've seen in November, is not something to worry about. It just presents an opportunity for people that are not in the market to also come in. The macros are strong. The market fundamental itself is strong. So really, there's not much to worry about if we have had a relatively soft November. All in all, I think we're still closing. We're still going to close positive anyway. So it's still nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
The large dip we saw sometime last week. Was an unusual movement, and I think the market has essentially corrected at the moment.
Right, and talking about year-to-date gains, returns for the all-share index, I guess that's still intact, but it's below 40%.
Yes.
Now I think around maybe 38, 39%, so far. That's for the gains for the all-share index, this year. And, we've had a couple of stocks also, do well in November. Which stocks, stood out for you this month?
Well, I mean, the consumer goods companies will continue to do well, and they've done quite well in November. So the likes of PZ, the likes of Boa Cement, the likes of Boa Foods, the likes of Cadre, and it is expected that they were going to do well because, in as much as we continue to have a stable exchange rate, as much as we continue to have starts to inch downwards, all of that are positive for the consumer goods companies and the real sector company, the industrials. So the likes of Dangote Cement and Co. will continue to benefit from stable, stable exchange rates and lower interest rates. So the consumer goods and the industrials will continue to do well as far as our own analysis is telling us.
All right, so, looking at the month of November, down about 7% so far, depending on what plays out today in the markets for this TGIF trade. So would you say it's a no-brainer, at this point? Because this is the month before December. Is it a no-brainer that investors would like to take some money off the table to have fun and maybe get a dirty December? So it's a no-brainer for the market to drop in November. Is that a sentiment?
Absolutely. That's a trend. I mean, if you look at the 10-year chart, that's what it has always told you, that December will see rebalancing, we'll see increase in consumption. So people will sell investments in order to take care of their December expenses, and also prepare, of course, for January when school fees will be paid and all of that. So we do not typically see a December where stock prices rise. Typically, you see a December where there's tearing down of stock prices. But like I always say, as people are exiting, it also presents an entry opportunities for people that are not there and that do not have significant consumption needs, to go in at prices that will typically be cheap. I mean, look at it as of November, I believe MTN was 520 naira at some point at the height. Now we're looking at MTN at 470, despite the fact that we know that the fundamental of that company is still very strong. All right, so what you are seeing, the price drops we are seeing they don't have anything to do with the fundamentals of this company. So they provide an entry point. So it's really not anything that any serious investor should worry about, that prices are coming down. If prices come down in December, typically that's what we expect to happen. As a matter of fact, if we see a rise in prices in December, that would be the anomaly rather than the usual.
Right, exactly. All right, let's take it on to the settlement cycle now, officially going live today.
Yes.
That's T+2. How excited, are stakeholders today?
We are really, really excited about this. We are really excited because, for one, we are moving in a direction that is faster than our competitors. And what I mean by that is this: New York Stock Exchange is T+1. London Stock Exchange is T+2. South Africa Stock Exchange, which is our closest rival in the African subcontinent, is T+3. Now Nigeria is T+2. Now, you know that most of the foreign investors that are coming into our country are either coming from the US or they are coming from the UK. Now that our settlement cycle has moved closer to those markets, it means that we will become more competitive in terms of the flow of investment into our market as compared to what might be going to South Africa, for instance. So we'll expect more liquidity to come towards us because of this change in settlement cycle. In addition to that, the shorter settlement cycle also means that the settlement risk is also reduced for investors, both retail and institutional investors. So this is a very good move on the part of Nigeria. Also, if you look at it, the settlement from the bond market and the equities market there used to be a congruence there. The bond market has always settled T+2. The equities market was settling T+3. Now that this equities market has also moved to T+2, it means that I can sell my bonds and use my cash to buy equities on the same day, knowing fully well that those two instruments will settle on the same day. So we are really, really excited about this, and it shows that the reforms that is being championed by the likes of the SEC, that is being championed by the NGX, that is being championed by CSES, is moving in the right direction, and it can only be good for the Nigerian stock markets, because in terms of liquidity, in terms of reduction in risk and increase in participation, this is a brilliant move.
Right, definitely, I can feel the pain of an investor maybe trying to, exit a stock. Maybe you're trying to sell one stock and go into another one that you think might, do very well, and you have to wait, 3 days to get that money to put it in the other stock that you want to, buy. But I guess that's cut down now to 2 days. That's the wait, at this point. Do you think, when are we getting to T? Because I guess that's why, when you look at, most of these crypto trading apps, you could quickly sell a crypto asset and go into another one, immediately. I guess that's one of the attractions there, for the use. Do you see us getting to T?
Yeah.
Soon?
Well, I guess with the increase in technology and with AI and the likes, we will ultimately get to that point, But I must say that there's no market in zero at the moment. The shortest settlement cycle is New York, which is T+1. But I guess that with AI, with 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 the technology available in the market and with the consensus in the market within the industry, we will move towards T+0 at some point. But achieving T+0 is not such that will be limited to the market. You need other the clearing houses and the likes of the Bank of International Settlement to be involved for us to get to the point where settlement can get to T+0. But I would say that we're at T+3, we're at T+2 now. In good time, we should move quickly towards T+1, such that our market can continue to be a standard bearer, not only in Africa, but ultimately amongst the top stock markets in the world. So right. we're close to that now. We're at the same level with UK. So that says quite a lot. So but with technology, I'm sure that T+0 is not very far away from the horizon too.
Right. And do you think for this trade, the TGIF trade today, seeing that T+2 is going live today, do you think investors are going to get so excited that all they want to do is sell today so that they can get settlement on Tuesday?
Well, I mean, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it will take time for people to adjust typically, but I mean, this clearly is a positive signal, particularly to the international community, that this country and this market is making great strides. So it's a positive signal. I suspect that investors will take advantage of it, and it says. I mean, I would actually like to go back to that. What you have said about comparison of our market with the crypto market and the fact that people can sell crypto and get their cash the same day. The fact that we are doing this also shows that my understanding is that crypto trades about $50 million or thereabouts in a month in Nigeria. So if this move towards T+2 helps us to attract a chunk of that market, all well and good for the market and for the investors in the market.
All right, definitely. We'll be tracking today's trade as T+2 goes live today. But what are you expecting in the trading month of December?
December is what you will refer to as a slow month. As you have mentioned, dirty December is not leaving anybody behind. So people will go on holidays. It's typically a short month. But all in all, I mean, what we have predicted at the beginning of the year, what our analysts have predicted is that the market will, the Ocean Index will end at about 39%, at 39% up. We are close to that now, and we are sticking by that prediction. We still feel that the market will end the year at about that 39% up. So we are not expecting anything, any extraordinary move, if you will, for the month of December. Of course, typically towards the end of the month and towards the end of the year, you will see portfolio managers rebalancing their books and the likes of that. So you expect more activities to happen towards the end of the year. But all in all, we are not expecting anything unusual to happen, towards the end of the year. The fact that the NPC also decided to hold rates at the levels they were for the next quarter also shows that there might not be any significant trigger, if you will, that will lead to significant market movement. So we expect December to be a steady month, so to say.
Right. I guess some traders would take a break, try and have fun, smell the roses. Yes. This December. Thank you so much. It was great having your perspective, Mr. Olatunde Amolegbe, as the MD at the Stephen Asset Management. Thank you so much, TGIF. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for having me, Lady.